So this is episode 25 of the Couple Cast. And if y'all knew what went into pre-production this week, I don't think y'all would want to be a part of the behind the scenes of this whole thing.
Yeah.
That's not going to cut off. That's definitely going to cut off at some point. Now I don't think about it.
We will see.
Okay. So, yeah. I don't want to say how you feeling because it's like generic, but I guess people would want to know how you feeling. So I still got to ask.
I'm feeling good. You know, I like that we're doing the couple cast a little differently and we're growing and it feels good.
I look progressively more horrible every week. It's progressive and it's, I'm not gonna lie, it's like borderline exponential.
How would you feel this? Like, come on, what is it called? Protect Black men, self-care, mental health. That's some real shit. So like, I don't want you to feel that way. Listen,
it's bad. It's bad. I like look back. Let's just go through. Go from one up until now. You be like, this nigga is looking horrible more and more every week. But nonetheless, I'm here. And you know what? I actually personal note, I sprained my ankle. I feel like I might have sprained my ankle. Very tender to walk on. Some guy who was clearly a bum. He took 2 steps, pump fake. You take 2 steps, I feel like you gotta go up. I went for the block. It was not there. He didn't even jump or nothing. He just turned around, did this little move like he didn't walk. Yeah. And now like my
the injuries of basketball, that was so funny when you told me yesterday that young boy asked what your age was.
Yeah.
And said, damn.
Yeah, he asked me, and then I told him, he was like, mind you, nigga wasn't that young, but he was like, yeah, nigga hit me with the Kevin Hart, what he did, what's his name?
With Don
Cheadle, Rwanda dude. He's like, I told my age, he's like, damn.
And me, I'm 56 years old. Damn. I'm sorry.
What the fuck?
Right.
What's up with that?
And then they was all like, yo, you look good for your age, though. Yeah, pause. But that they said that, but listen.
Yeah, no, listen. If you at the age where niggas is telling you look good for your age, like I never pictured that in my entire life. Like, but people been saying I look good for my age, and also my entire life. So
when you was 5, you look good for your age.
When I was 5, they said, nigga, you don't look a day over 2. Trust me.
Yo, that's hilarious. That's funny. We didn't even introduce ourselves for the people that's new. For y'all that's, been here before, what's up? Glad that you're back. And for the people that's new, I'm 𝗖𝗢𝗨𝗣𝗟𝗘𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, also known as the African Jaw, and I'm here with my co-host,
the guy G Holy, and this is the Couple Cast, episode 25, confetti time. Oh shit. And we got sound effect.
That we're trying out and seeing
how
we like.
I'll be honest with you. I hope y'all can hear that now. That sounded like a digital clap. I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounded like a bunch of robots.
It should.
Happy at something.
Is.
Okay, cool.
But so yeah, let's get straight into. Oh no, I wanted to say this first. So I wanted to let people know how we come up with the actual topic. So throughout the week, when something triggers you or we see that it triggers other people, I
don't use the word trigger though.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean just something that
people use trigger.
No, I mean something that we connect with throughout the week.
Yeah.
Then we're like, yo, babe, we have to talk about this. Or you're like, babe, people are talking about this. It's something interesting. And then other times we actually get like, fans of the show that actually hit us up and be like, y'all should talk about this.
Yep.
So this first topic that we're talking about actually is a combination. I said last week that we were going to talk about parenting and this whole positive disciplining your child. And then a fan of our show said, I want to hear y'all talk about giving y'all child freedom. Should your children have freedom? So let's start with the first part though. Positive disciplining.
Yeah. I don't even positive discipline. That's I don't know if you need to you saying us disciplining them in a positive way.
Yeah, that's what the term is called. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a weird term though, because when you saying discipline, and then you putting positive with it. It's like, how do you positively?
That's the thing. So what they're saying is that, you know, for example, if your child is, let's say, hitting their sibling, you may take them to the side and say, you know what? Let's have a conversation. Why were you hitting, you know, your little sister or your brother or whoever? And then when they tell you why, you explain to them better ways to, you know, deal with their frustration or their anger for this sibling, and why they shouldn't use their hands to communicate. And then you may say, you know what? If you're still frustrated, little, I don't know, Malcolm. Why is every time I'm doing a little boy name or somebody's like Malcolm?
You just love Malcolm.
So you would be like, you know what, Malcolm? Let's go on a walk to kind of get rid of some of that frustration so we can turn that energy into something positive. Yeah. And then once you take that walk, you ask them, like, how do you feel? You know, like, this is the ways we can deal with our emotions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that's how you deal with that, rather than like, oh, you put your hands on your siblings, I'm going to put my fucking hands on you. I'm going to whoop your ass if I see you do that shit again. Matter of fact, you want to put your hands on them and get my belt, beat the shit out you. I bet you going to do it again. Because that's the way a lot of us grew up.
That's definitely the way I grew up.
And it was like, you know, you might get a switch outside.
You might get a lashing.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like that first method is superior? Do you feel like it's the progressive thing to do?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything is superior to anything, right? First of all, I just think it's an individual thing with your children, and anytime you discipline them, you got to realize who you discipline, and like, because you could overdo the discipline for somebody, underdo the discipline for somebody else. So one, I just think it's an individual thing, and then two, I don't think either method is superior. Like you can. I do believe, like, all right, there is a science to like physical harm being associated with something you don't want to be done. Like the same reason they was like whipping the slaves. Like people will say, oh, they was whipping the slaves. Like that's a horrible thing, but it's a method to it. And it clearly works because niggas was slaves for years. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But you make a valid point. Do you look at your child as a slave? Do you look at your child as property that you own, where you own their body, and that you should be able to put your hands on them anytime that you want to?
Right. Let's think about this.
In order to get them to be obedient and do what you want to do, because that is putting yourself in a massa mind frame and utilizing that way.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, right? But let's think about the nature of your relationship with your child, though. Is that not a slave-master relationship?
It depends on who you are. For me, it's not. Because when I was younger, I was very clear that, like, as a child, when I came into this world, I already knew that my parents did not own me. Like, I understood the assignment, right? Being funny. No, but for real, I understood that I came through them. Wasn't my choice necessarily, like, you know, on a conscious level of where I am now, to know that, okay, these are the people that's going to be my family and be my mother and my father. So I'm coming here, but this is a short period of time, temporary, and I plan to go my way. And so, like, I have my own thoughts, I'm my own person, and my thinking, what you think is wrong and what I think is two different things. And I know for me, I would have appreciated more conversations about why they were telling me to do stuff, and to use their words to tell me why it wasn't going to work out, or to create different consequences outside of just an ass whooping.
That's cool, but I'm saying sometimes the ass whooping could be, I ain't gonna say necessary, but it could work. Because like I said, it's a science to, like, if the very first time, I always use this analogy or example, right? The very first time you touch the stove, I pop your hand. It's really not that serious, but the next time you go to touch the stove, you're going to think about when you got your hand popped and know that's the wrong thing to do. You could say, like, you don't want to be a slave, have a slave master relationship, but you do want to keep them out of harm's way.
So you feel like...
So hold on. So that could be one of the things, one of the ways that if you're hitting them, that could be keeping them out of harm's way, because they'll be programmed in a way to remember, like, all right, it's severe consequences for this, so I'm not even going that way.
So where do we draw the line? Because I understand in emergency situations saying, yo, you was really like literally talking about a situation they were trying to touch the stove. But what happens when you start using that for everything? Where you like, all right, well, you was talking back, you getting slapped. All right, well, you was being disrespectful, so you getting a spanking. All right, well, you broke something and you was told not to touch it, now you getting a whooping. Because people start using that for everything.
It depends on how severe you think them talking back to you is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is them talking back to you as is it worse than them like touching the stove? The example I use, for example, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that the same thing? Is that on the same level? If you feel like it's on the same level, then yeah, use the same methods.
Right. And I think that's a problem because I don't know if it is as effective as you're saying. I think it may show that person is, yo, I can't do that around you. Because I asked you a question before. I said, yo, when you was growing up and you was getting them spankings and stuff like that, and you was getting your ass whooped, did that shit make you not do that? You told me it made me not do that in front of them. But it didn't change your character and change your behavior. And I'm saying what I think is happening with these positive disciplining and is that it's about working on the person's character. Yeah. It's about getting them to change their perspective rather than just creating trauma of, all right, it happened, you got slapped, so now you be scared or fearful to do. Because to me, I kind of look at it like religion, like how people try to keep people in order through religion and say, oh, this is gonna happen to you, this is gonna happen to you, and have like a fear-based relationship with their God. Yeah. And then the parents see themselves as the God of their children and also create a fear-based relationship with them as well.
But sometimes as a parent, like sometimes in a slave-master relationship, right? The only way to get through to your slaves is let me get my levels right real fast. Hold on. I don't know if I'm going up or down. Yeah, so I'm saying in a slave-master relationship, sometimes the only way to get through to your slaves is to be severe. Like
and that's the problem. You're still talking about slave-master relationship.
Because at the end of the day, it really is.
It's like not.
To some extent, they are subservient. And they have to adhere to the rules of what's going on and the regulations. They was born into a space that they don't control. And if they start trying to take too much control of that space, it's going to look crazy. And not only can they end up harming themselves.
Yeah, but hold on.
Not only can they end up harming themselves, they're going to turn that system upside down and they're not going to learn the things that you need them to learn.
But see, this is what I'm going to say about that. You and I and other adults go into spaces all the time when we're in public spaces where we don't actually have the control over how those spaces go, whether it be a workplace, whether it be at a post office, at a public bus, where it's like, hey, if you do this and do this, there are consequences to it. But we as adults still ask for respect. The bus driver says, hey, you got to do this and that. You be like, cool, sir, I know that's the rules. But as soon as he put his hands on you, you're ready to die. Right. You're ready to go to prison. You're ready to go to jail because you're like, this person disrespect me. Because you know what that feels like.
You don't know that nigga at all, though, too.
Right. But that's not my point. You just said that it's a slave relationship because it's a space that you cannot control. And so you're forced to be subservient. And I'm saying in our spaces, as an individual, you're in spaces like that all the time and you still ask for respect. Why do you think your children shouldn't have the basic respect of, don't put your hands on me because my body belongs to me? That's the thing I don't understand about parents that feel like it's okay to still spank children.
Yeah, their bodies definitely belong to them, but they also belong to you. Once again, to some extent, because let's say your body doesn't want to go to school. Mm-hmm. Now I gotta make sure your body get to school. It's only a few ways to do that. Mm-hmm. And one of them might be dragging your body out of the house.
Why?
So they could just say, I don't want to go to school, and then that's it. They don't have to go.
They don't have to go. If they don't want to go to school, Okay, Billy. I've been in this situation, correct? I have a nephew that was like, didn't want to go to school. And I said, yo, why are you forcing him to go to school? He's skipping school. I don't want to put a situation out there too much, but he's not in the right age.
Right, but he's a certain age.
Right,
so
right.
What about when they daycare age? Okay.
Hold on. So what I'm saying is, so you have choices and you have freedoms. And if I'm your parent, I also have freedoms and I have choices. So what I'm saying is this is a mutual relationship where if you are here, then you have to do certain things. And if you don't want to, I will never take away your freedom. You don't have to do those things. There are places you can go, which is what I said to him. I said you could go to Job Corps.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to a shelter. You can go to Job Corps.
Okay.
You could be a guardian of the state and they can put you into a home. They can put you in foster care. There may be a family member that you can call up. You may have a grandmother like my nephew ended up doing. You can go ahead and stay with your grandmother and see how y'all work that out, but you won't be here.
Okay.
So there are ways to create freedom and choice where I'm not about to have to beat you up, put my hands on you, slap you and punch you and say, well, I'm your parent and that's something I had to do.
I get that. And I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm saying I see the argument for it because, we are adhering to a policy where we not doing that. So that's not.
And I want to say one last thing about that. Because I want to stay in this topic too long. We already on this.
No, I just want to be clear because I'm advocating for the beating of children. So let's be clear that that's not something we do in this house today.
Today, right? We had to listen. What I'm saying is, I hear so many Black parents that want to continue to go through this slave master, mindset of beating the shit out your children. And like when we look at some other races, and we be like looking at let's just say it. Let's just say it.
Falling out in Walmart.
Yes, let's just say it. Let's say the white people that fall out in Walmart, and we be like, wow, their children just have no respect. And then our parents look at us and be like, you better not do that shit with me. And they be like, you know what? I'm whipping your ass so that you can grow up and you could be a great person in the world. And these people, I said this before. I worked in the school system, and the children was the worst children in school. I would tell their parents, and their parents used to come to the school and beat the shit out of them in front of all of us. We were like, oh shit. And that child still end up in prison. These children like that still end up fucked up and be in the streets. Some of these niggas out here that's on a corner and that's crazy and that's living wild life was used to get beat the fuck up by their parents. And you got these white people who be like, yo, I never had no one talk crazy to me. I never was beaten. And they grow up and be, some of them, cool, respectable adults that was just a phase when I was a child. And I went through different things and I got over it and I learned and my character improved when I was in life. But I never had anyone put their hands on me. And so my point is these children are growing up and a lot of them that never had nobody put their hands on them still growing up being okay children. Like, you know what I mean? Not okay children, but okay adults. So I'm just saying.
I don't know about that though. See, that's what I'm saying. Like from what I seen, the ones that be falling out in Walmart, they also would slap the shit out of their mom. And you know what I mean? Definitely.
Right. And I
can guarantee you the school shooter's not getting their ass whooped.
Right. And I'm saying that you ever been in a situation where you worked around, like I've worked in private schools where I was like with 25, 30 white children and I know none of them was getting their ass whooped. And I also seen them later and over the years.
I'm not talking about society. See, listen, this is the difference between Black parents.
No, you just said grow up and be a shooter.
This the difference between Black parents and all the other parents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck about society at all. You're going to respect me. So it's good enough. So it's good enough that you're not doing this shit around me and you respecting me enough to take your shit that you like to do elsewhere. So,
and I'm telling you that I'm watching and I'm being around white people that I know since they were children who I'd be like, oh my gosh, they parents don't even really, discipline them in that type of way, like whatever. And I've seen them grow up to be healthy, still loving, respectable, kind adults. And I'm saying that, in my opinion,
but it's two different types of people that don't put their hands on their children, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ones that don't do shit and don't put their hands on their children. It's the people who do what you saying, which is...
That's what I'm talking about.
Right, okay.
And what I'm saying and they create consequences and they can be on punishment and stuff like that. But what I'm saying, what I think happens, and you can tell me I'm wrong, and I'm open to it. I think when you beat the shit out of your children at home and then they go outside in the world, they don't really they're ready for everything. They don't give a fuck. They ready to fight people. They can take an ass whipping. Okay. They ready to put their hands on people, and they ready to demonstrate their anger and their frustrations by being physical, because they come from a physical. I'm gonna tell you why I noticed this shit.
I can agree with that though.
Because how hard is it to take an ass whooping and be physical and put your hands on people when you come from an environment where you know what I mean? People that have never got into a fight, never took an ass whooping, they're terrified sometimes to get into physical situations. But I be noticing the similarity. I'm like, oh, this child to get his ass whooped all the time at home, and his mom, I see how she talks crazy to him. He's just really unafraid.
Right.
The adults, when they try to talk to them regular and be like, hi, Johnny, can you do your schoolwork? He'd be like, no, bitch. You'd be like, what? Why is he cool talking to me like this? And like, you literally have to turn up when you talk to them and be like, yo, don't see what's going to happen to your ass found. You know what I mean? And I noticed with my friends that didn't grow up in households like that, where if you even try to curse when you're talking to them, they be like, I don't really know what's going on here. I feel very like you're being aggressive, and this is very like outside of my territory because you're cursing. I've never even been in a place where that's the thing.
Right.
So I'm just saying, you normalize certain trauma, and you normalize showing your children that when people are doing what you don't want them to do, the way to respond is to be physical with them.
I have a flip side, but I won't say it because I don't want to stay on this for 35 minutes, but I think we can go back and forth tackling that. I think just to sum it up for me, at the end of the day, it's pros and cons to however you run your program, man. You know what I mean? I can't tell people how to, like, some people like rough sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people put their motherfucking belt around their girl neck and choke them the fuck out from the back.
You and just really got to a whole new
and that girl. I'm just saying, hold on, and the girl be like, that's what's up. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? I like to be fucked doggy style. And so this is why we gotta talk. We gotta talk about that one day. We're not gonna talk about that right now. But I want to talk about women that like that shit and men that like that shit and what the fuck that may mean. Okay, that's cool. But I'm just saying, it's different shit for different people. I'm not telling nobody that the way they do nothing as a parent. That's one thing I learned as a parent, because I don't want nobody to come telling me what to do, because there's people who got opinions about what the little people who even know what I do. You get what I'm saying? Got opinions about what I do, and they know what they could do with their opinions. You know what I'm saying? So I would never even put that on nobody else. We just strictly talking about, in general.
Yo, speaking of choices that people make, right? Women a lot of times use the hashtag independent woman. Yeah. And they brag about how, like, yo, I'm getting my own money. You know what I'm saying? This and that. And look at me. I've run businesses, or I got this. I'm selling bundles. I don't know, whatever stuff women is selling and doing, right? And me and you had a conversation about how, there are women that are using men for careers. Yeah. So is that being fake independent? Because if you start dating a guy because you see an opportunity, and there are examples, and we can name some women, you know what I'm saying, that have done that. I mean, sometimes you'll tell me stories about actual women, and I'll be surprised. You'll be like, yo, she used to date so-and-so. Yeah. And after she dated this dude that was like the most popular dude in this arena, in a block, she moved on up to this dude that was at the next level. And then her career kept growing, and now she getting this type of clients, and she this type of girl. And it's like, damn. Yeah. And I mean, let's just talk about it, because like usually I don't like to say names, but these people are so like such good examples of this shit.
You love saying names, by the way. You know what you love? You love saying, hold on. You love saying you don't like saying names, but you actually do love saying names.
But I do. Like, so one of them you told me about was Karen Civil.
There we go.
Karen Civil.
What about her?
You told me how that what I'm saying is an example of that was dating this person and utilized that situation, was moving from there, and then career moves.
Well, I don't know exactly, but I mean, when you when you come to, she's definitely not an example of what I'm talking about, by the way, because she has a business that she runs. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about women that run business. Like, for example, would be
that ain't what I'm talking about when I was talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was talking about the people who use their career, like that chick that was with Omarion, that was with Lil Fizz. She just keeps popping up at somebody else's house.
Yeah, I mean, those are just hoes. But what I do,
no, but they got a career out of this shit.
They do. You could talk about Amber Rose and shit. But we know that. But what I'm saying is the fact that you have people like on Selling Tampa, where she's like, I have this whole business, I'm this and that, and then she's like, well, on the Netflix, and she's like, well, I went into his DM, and I'm now with Chad, what's his name, Johnson, and like. Now that makes her kind of like a social media power thing. You know what I mean? Whatever. It brings more fame, attention to her name, to her real estate business. Milano, another example, she was like, oh, started with t-shirts and putting logos and designs. Now I'm dating these people, and it's just building her career and turning her into somebody that's even popular enough to use that. That's what I feel like was the interesting perspective on it. Oh, wow. Yeah, I wasn't even planning on going there. Like, our pre-production game is trash. I was actually just talking about, like I said, these girls who they got a following from whatever they doing, and they selling their little whatever, waist trainers and shit, and they just keep popping up with niggas. Like, niggas is their career. But women using men to advance their career, that's been the thing since. Yeah, but what makes it interesting is that their brand and what they're pushing to other women
is independence.
It's like, you can do it. You can be just like me. All you have to do is just, when you wake up at 5, meditate, do your emails, and then you'll be boom. Like, and you be like, okay. And you be like, oh, they be dating on the scene and getting like with the men, and then they get the it'd be weird, because I think we met a middle ground of what we was talking about, right? Yeah, I think it's weird because these is the most dependent people, and they preaching the independence. Like, that's what I don't really get. Like, I can't say I don't respect it, because I respect the game, because niggas is suckers. So you see a sucker, you get a sucker. You know what I'm saying? And you got a sucker. So, but I'm just saying, every time you got a bump in your career, it was through some dude. Yeah. And like, that is, how independent is that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That might go into another topic that I was going to go into later, but we was just talking about the whole divorce thing, but we'll get there. And it's like, get your coins how you get your coins. But it's just interesting when they turn their brand into, be like me, who's an independent woman who's making it on my own. It's like the people who don't work out. And then sell waist trainers. Yeah, that sell workout products. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I don't really get the whole, like, how you could sell. And that's the power of imagery, right? That's the power of imaging and branding and stuff. Because you could be the most dependent. Like, nobody looks at Kim K and be like, yo, she really came up off of Ray J. They even mentioned Ray J is not even a part of her brand story or nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? When the first time I seen her, it was the Ray J sex tape. Wasn't the Kim K. They branded and marketed like the Kim K sex tape, but I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Only reason why I didn't know that's what we was talking about, because I mean, people have just kind of already branded them as like, you're a hoe. Like, even when they try to go places, like, oh, you just a hoe. You know what I mean? They be trying to escape those titles. You know what I mean? Well, yeah. Well, in the case of the girls you talking about, like Chad Ocho, like, that makes a lot of sense. If you know that you want to sell houses in an area that is got a lot of mansions and things of that nature, and you got a superstar football player that you could get with that could up your clients list, why not? It all makes sense. Same thing, Milano. Like, if you want to do a street luxury wear, clothing wear, why not date the hottest street niggas and get the people to say, give that credibility, you know what I'm saying? And everybody, if Karen said, if you would socialize and be in this scene, then you could date. I mean, we've seen it happen, and it works. It's definitely a true method. It's crazy. These niggas is suckers, though. Like, you know what, though? I'm gonna ask you a question about that, though. I know not really, though, because I listen. If we could work out some business,
then I'm not a sucker.
Right.
If I could be, listen, use me, but I'm gonna use you.
You
know
mean
what I'm
like that Love and Hip Hop shit where they both like, yo, this is a fake relationship, but look, we could both.
Listen, if you cut me in, then we could do it. But if not, we gotta cut it out.
I was thinking about that recently. I'm like, do those guys feel like suckers when they with these chicks that have like a pattern of dating men that's just like you, that like they're not just in your income bracket, but they're also famous or a ball player or whatever? You know, I start thinking, I think maybe these guys feel like it's natural because they're in a space where this is what is available to them. Like, these women are supposed to be the highest grade of women in terms of what, looks and,
like
and
eggs,
body.
like when you buy eggs.
Right. So it's like, well, this is what I'm supposed to like be with. And so I don't really care if she a gold digger, because they all gold diggers when they this bad.
Yeah, but then how do she end up being your fiance and get that's the part. Listen.
Because who else you gonna make your fiance?
If you want to be
all
with
the bad bitches is this, who else you gonna make your fiance?
If you want to be with a smash and grab, that's totally fine. But when you listen, get the chick from Kroger's. It doesn't matter. I don't care who you get. Not the chick that been with every rapper. Like, and that's why a lot of people was looking at Sierra like she was some type of level up with this dude. I'm looking at him like he a sucker. Cause she been looking for this the whole time.
Yeah, but
hold on, real fast. Hold on, real fast. I gotta say this. Who the hell dates Bow Wow and 50 Cent?
Nah, you tripping.
Who dates Bow Wow and 50 Cent?
You're very tripping on that.
And
no,
Future.
You're tripping on that. I'm gonna tell you why.
Who dates these three niggas?
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you? No, you're lying. Can I tell you why?
Go ahead.
I literally see all my female friends, and I've seen all guys do it. I've seen you date a skinny girl that had no fucking body. I seen you date a fat bitch that looked completely different from the skinny girl. I seen you date a hood bitch.
I don't know if they look different.
I seen you date a hood bitch with a fat ass, right? I seen you date a fucking suburban bitch that's a fucking Oreo. I seen you be with a fucking girl that's a bartender in a like you date. You done all of that, correct?
And guess what? They all had different occupations.
Yes, and it was completely different.
Where the fuck is my bomb at? You got a bomb up here? That'll do.
That's a fucking you funny.
Listen. They all had different occupations.
Okay. They had different occupations. I'm saying it's totally different. People have a preference that's larger than just one thing. You told me, you said you don't have, you told me you don't have no preference. That you would say, there's not one particular thing. So she get like a little short, little Bow Wow and also want to have, a gangster, like, whatever. Dude, I'm just saying.
You stop fucking capping.
I'm not.
Nah, for real. Like the cat, like that. Your hat, the shit is about to come off. No, seriously. Like you stop.
Whatever. That was so corny. Damn. But I'm just saying, like, it's very weird that that's happening. But forget all of that. So you said you had a story time about a graveyard.
Yeah.
So.
Whoa. Let's be clear, because there's a lot of rappers involved with a lot of things. I am not one of them. When you say you have a story about a graveyard, it sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy.
Real quick story time. This is going to be a segment we start. So I'm going to put it right here. Story time. Not really, but I'm just saying. All right. So I meet.
I'm sorry. I just want to keep doing it.
You just couldn't wait. So. I'm gonna play you later. I'm gonna let you know. That's what I'm saying. You know my petty, and you still go.
I just had to boo you. I had to boo you because, but no. Let me hear the story.
I like Karma.
It better be an interesting story.
I really like Karma. So, there was a woman that I was interested in, and like at the time, I was real big on. I mean, I just got back into working out, and so I'm working out, and this person, they feel like that they want to impress me. Come to find out, they said, right? So they say, yo, let's go running. Now, by this time, you might know that this person is this person, right? So it was in our early phases of dating. She acted as if she was a very active woman in the physical.
Whoa, active woman.
Active woman in the physical department.
What? This sounding worse and worse about me.
So I go get my my shorts on. You know what I mean? I come around her house. She lived like maybe 10 minutes from me. I lived in West, she lived in Southwest, but I lived on the edge. She lived on the edge, whatever. And so I get there and I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. We going. We pull up. First of all, her gear, I should have known. Her gear was too fresh, by the way. I should have known that it was, you know, something was going on. Like this is she had unused gear. So I should have known that she wasn't really a runner. And then we pull up to none other than a graveyard. And I just felt like we was at the wrong place because I said I wanted to go run. And now we're running on people's graves and I was confused. End up being a really scenic space and it did feel good. But when I pulled up, it was kind of weird as shit. Like imagine somebody say, yo, we're going to go running. And then, you know, it's a graveyard. So she took me on a date on a graveyard run and it was kind of dope. And she was a little, you know, out of breath and out of shape. But, you know, I kept the pep talks up and we kept it moving and we got through it. You know what I mean?
I just, you know, it's very deceitful. But I really was like, you know, I want to impress him. So I was like, yeah, you know, I'm like, be like, oh, let's go running. So he could, you know, think that I'm into working out. And then I'm like, you know, I'm like, a sporty type of girl and shit. Cause I'm like, you know, these niggas like that shit. So I'm pretending.
I do though.
So, you know, I was like, yeah, I know the perfect place because I have been there before. Like, you know, with one of my female friends. So I'm like, oh, he gonna like this spot because
so she took you to the graveyard first.
Yeah. So because the students nearby, you know,
who decided? Hold on, but this is the bigger question. Hold on, real fast. I don't want to remember where you are. Who was the first nigga that was decided to run in the graveyard?
That's what I was going to tell you. Right, so there's two colleges right there. Is Penn, University of Penn, right? Yeah. And then there's the University of Sciences. That's right there on 43rd and Woodland.
University of Sciences.
Science.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's like it's like 43rd and Woodland, something like that. 42nd and Woodland.
Yep.
And it's a graveyard, but it's huge. It's full of like inclines. It's a full path around. It's lots, you know, it's like almost looking like a botanical garden. Like it's really gorgeous. Yeah. And it's full. They do events there all the time. Like they be doing like all kind of stuff, like where people be setting up and having like vending and buying stuff. So like it's a lot of students that go running there. So I was like, he gonna love this. And he gonna be like, I know the spots and everything. So I go there. I just wasn't prepared for the fact that like I don't really run and I'm out of shape. So I was like, go ahead. You go ahead of me. And the whole like, time,
save yourself.
I was just trying to like, I was out of breath. I was mostly walking. You was all like, I do this all the time. And yeah, that shit did not go well.
Yo, but you know what? Eyes fucked up. You could read that from here.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you this.
To get the fucking surgery.
Let me tell you this. It worked. Everything I did work because I did that maybe like after knowing you, maybe a week or two.
You telling them how you scammed me?
Hold on. I knew you for like a week or two, and you asked me you proposed to me, asked me to marry you.
So next
within 2 months after that, you was like, I found my wife.
Yeah,
that's what you said.
All off of false shit. So it's a bunch of false hope.
But real quick, I don't want to go too long into this, but is it deceitful when women, you know, during the dating phase kind of, you know, do little things like that and pretend like they like some, you know?
Yes, it's very deceitful. You just told me it was deceitful in so many words. And
but is it really deceitful? Because
that you sound like, is it really a bank robbery, right? Because I didn't have a gun. I had a note. So is it really a bank? Yes.
I mean, so how far do we go with this? Because I know women that dress up when they're dating a guy, but knowing they don't really dress up, they don't really wear those type of clothes.
They
like
just
that's just
deceitful.
To look good in front of the man that they
fupas.
Yeah, they hide it. Yeah,
don't hide your fupa.
Wow. So y'all men want us to be our most raw self. Like y'all don't.
I told you that's the best policy. I told you that's the best.
So fuck the push-up bras. Fuck the makeup. Fuck
put
the
them titties out. Let me see them
everything.
blemishes.
So you rolls, fat rolls. Y'all want to see everything that's there, so it's no surprises.
Let the biscuits out. That's a fact because
otherwise you're being deceitful.
Listen, all I'm saying is you want to undersell and over deliver. Women is overselling, so it's like even if I'm feeling you, it's just not even what I thought it was. Like even if you're a 9, I thought you was a 10. You know what I'm saying? You really want to come out and say you want to look like a 7 and then bust it out on him one day. Like, damn, she's an adjustable 7. She can go up to a 9.
Because I'm gonna say when I say I know it sounds like crazy, like wow, like women pretending to do things. But what I'm saying is that women do these things all the time, and I think men probably do it sometimes too. Where maybe a man is into like some anime cartoon shit, or he's into karate movies or documentaries, and you go spend time at his house and you watching that shit. But when y'all together and y'all now a couple, you might be like, babe, I don't want to watch that shit. And he'd be like, damn, when we first got together, you used to watch this martial arts shit. And you was like, yeah, because I was getting to know you and I liked you. But
all right, now let's put this in real time, like somewhere else. Let's see where else we can do this shit and it not be a problem.
Right.
Okay. Job application. right?
Yeah.
That when you can't perform,
like
your job application says it's going to be a problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say, I don't know, random shit, NASCAR driver. Right? You get a job as a NASCAR driver, and now we find out that you got a CDL, and that's it.
Yeah.
Does that work? I'm saying,
I ain't gonna hold you. I did that for most of my jobs. I was like, I'll figure it out when I get there.
Saying. 2 times you'll fake ass nigga.
Whatever.
Fake ass nigga,
right.
dog.
Yo, I mean, it is what it is. Yo, so it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta do what it takes to get the job, and when you get there, you know you're there.
When you get there, you do enough to stay there.
Yeah, but yo, a lot has happened in hip hop this week, and one of the things that we was talking about.
I feel like we're coming up on an hour right now.
One of the things.
Go ahead.
What we were talking about is if you a 90s nigga, right? And I say 90s nigga like either you was born before it 90s, because you grew up and then you grew up in the 90s, or you just primarily like, all right, fuck it. You like in your 30s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got nigga ears.
Sound like you didn't want to say it.
You got nigga, or you could be older in your 30s. You in your 40s, your 50s, whatever. You got them niggas ears where you still listen to Wu-Tang and Jay-Z and Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim, and that's your era. You love the locks. Can you really be a part of the conversation and talk to niggas when they start talking about, NBA YoungBoy and all these other niggas that's out there now, Lil Baby, and they have conversations and they talk about hip hop and shit like that? Can you really contribute to the conversation when this ain't your time?
A nigga like me, yes. I don't know if everybody can, you know what I'm saying? Like some of your homies, you know what I mean? They stuck in the 90s. No other way to put it, right? Or some of my homies. Some of my homies are stuck in the 90s too. So I can tell you, like I always say, I dubbed my first tape in 87. So I could tell you anything from that era all the way up, right? But I never stopped. I can go all the way up. You get what I'm saying? Like I is anything. If you go on gholy.com, you're going to see anybody from, we're going to report up on Jay and Snoop. And we're going to do, Lil Baby was my MVP.
Hold on, real quick. We're going to put that on the screen right now. gholy.com. I don't know if I'm doing it right.
gholy.com.
Go
man.
there.
The number 1 hip hop site in the world.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? We got a little spirituality going on there too.
But
might want to check it out.
You're saying if you've been staying along and it didn't take no breaks, but you're right on the post, then you can speak on it.
And not only that, just on some street shit, right? Like I'm still on the pulse of what's happening in the street. Like is the lingo, the what's happening out there. The rap style, the beat style, everything I'm up on. So I feel like I'm qualified to speak on that. Like I was saying, Lil Baby was my MVP for last year. I do a hip hop site. I could have picked anybody,
right?
But it really was Lil Baby. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, if you check out of the culture, then you don't have no business speaking on new, young, fresh niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how people end up getting put in a box.
Oh yeah.
I remember that class of 09 with the blog era rappers. Everybody was mixing up all these rappers, by the way. They used to say, yo, yeah, J. Cole, Wale, Kid Cudi, this one, that one. I'm like, hold up. Mickey Fax, Kid Cudi, Wale, J. Cole, all them niggas is like way different niggas.
Right.
But if you was an old nigga at the time, you're like, yeah, them new cats.
Right.
They all different.
Yeah, because I mean, not just has everything, everything keeps changing and music keeps evolving. The sound, the moving from being more, I don't want to say being, well, yeah, I'll say it, going from lyrical to being more, what's the word? Being more melodic.
Yeah.
And then like just the music industry has changed. So when I even talk to like some of my friends that's not really into what's happening now, they don't even understand what I be saying when I be talking about certain things because they don't understand how the music industry has changed. They don't even understand why them people is there, like how they even got to that place. They don't really understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a fact. But another thing we was talking about that was super interesting is how do you
hold up real fast. Why do you have demonic laugh on here?
Because it's funny.
Can I play it?
You can if you want to. You feel like it's the moment for it. Go ahead.
Nah, I do. I find
you gonna find the moment. No, this might be the moment though. Like but nah. So
you got something on your face.
Where?
Where?
Get
it?
You can get it. You better edit this part out.
Oh no, I just wanted to get you back from earlier. Go ahead. What you saying?
Yo. So how do we know when a major artist is actually on the decline? Because a lot
when a major artist is actually on the dick.
Oh, getting dick, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So
how do I know when a major artist is actually on the decline?
Because the label will make it seem like they're always on the incline. That's their job. You know what I mean? And they team, that's their job. And so what are the signs that an artist on a decline?
You can usually tell when the brand is bigger than the product. Right? Like they might be on the incline as a whole, as a business, but on a decline as an artist. Like you know what I'm saying? Like somebody like Rick Ross, who did 31,000. And he's literally richer than he's ever been. Like you can see it. You can literally, his pool is bigger than people's, house. So you can tell that he's the bigger, but he might be on a decline as far as interest in his music. You get what I'm saying? So, and that's in any sense. Why you smiling like that?
It sounds corny, but I was just thinking how much I really love you. This is so, it has nothing to do with what you talk about. And I really am listening to everything you saying.
That's the closest thing I
had. I'm sorry, but keep telling me.
Yeah, so you could like an artist like Rick Ross, or you could like Drake.
Yeah,
I realized Drake was on a decline.
Oh my gosh, nobody's going to agree with you on that.
Yeah, he's on the decline as far as let's say he's not on a decline because CLB might end up being his best selling album ever. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't even like left the top 10 yet. And it was number 1 for like 8 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
So are you basing the decline off of a album?
Hold on, real fast. But he might be on a decline because he made a great album in Scorpion in 2018, and people said it was trash. And that let me know it just might be his time he might be getting dethroned a little bit, because if the same Drake would have made that album in 2013, would have been praised. I think he just won so much, it was his time to lose. And I think even with the Pusha T battle, I think people was inclined to see it that way more because Drake already been in that position and he won. Like when you win so much, it be time for you to, have an L. Like people start kind of wanting to, even if you're a nice guy, people want to see you take a L.
You said Cardi B was on a decline back in what year?
Cardi B ain't put an album in like 5 years at this point, by the way.
Wait, I think you said in 2018 or 19.
I knew Cardi B was on a decline when she put out 3 singles and none of them worked. None of them worked. And even the singles that worked didn't work.
But see, that's my question to you, because sometimes an album is a miss. You know what I mean? Sometimes a single is a miss, and artists keep looking forward and they keep looking for a great album, and then they can do incredibly well.
I want to be clear. You're right. Because
real quick, Nas did a lot of albums that people didn't fuck with, and then these last 2 albums, 3 albums now, because the other one, people have been going crazy for him. He having his best year, get his Grammy and everything. So how do you base it on numbers or the fans not really fucking with it at the time?
When I say decline, of course I'm not talking about musically, because usually musically, if you're a great artist, you're probably getting better.
Right.
Somebody could argue that 444 is one of Jay-Z's best albums.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Jay-Z been out the loop for it to be like, considered one of the top albums of the year, just because Jay-Z, the hype around Jay-Z is just not the same. He been there for 30 years.
I think I get what you're talking about. I think you're saying, and because when you said Jay-Z, I made the connection. When he talked about how artists get into this white hot space, and it's like they're untouchable, and then when they come out of that, now it's like they kind of have to fight for their life. And even if they're amazing and they're great and they do great work, and it even does great numbers, it still doesn't hit the way it could have hit if they was at their prime.
Exactly. So I just mean natural decline. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even talking about, I'm just talking about the nature of things. Like remember I said the baby hit his peak. He did actually hit his peak. You know what I'm saying? Even if he moved forward, he had the greatest career. But at the height of the baby, that's gone. So when I say decline, I don't mean falling off necessarily. I just mean on the other side of the peak. You know what I'm saying? Megan Thee Stallion is on the other side of her peak. I don't know if Dirk might still be on the incline.
Yeah.
Because he got a lot more room to go and grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He still didn't even do like his big numbers yet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So we got one more topic before we wrap up. This has been sort of a long episode. I was really me. I kept going on about the children shit.
You just don't want to whoop nobody ass.
Yo. So we have one more topic, and the question is, okay. So it's up there. So
it's like 12 a.m. too, by the way. I don't want nobody to say, why is he yawning? Go ahead.
Yeah. One thing that happened in the media was Dr. Dre, and he finalized his divorce. He was very excited. He took a picture. He's divorced
as fuck.
Yes. And his wife ended up getting $100 million.
$100 million.
Right. And not like a monthly kind of thing, but just like, he has to pay a portion this year.
Hold on. Hold on. Say that again. Say his wife.
She got $100 million as a settlement. Yeah, she's very happy. And
that shit is long. Pause.
Right. So
she said she's happy? Do we know that she's happy? She might feel like that she deserves way more.
Right. Who knows? Right. But so it's not a monthly thing. It's like a complete settlement.
No. It's a 2-part. It's 50 million this year, 50 million the next year.
And so the question is, what's fair? What do women deserve when they get a divorce and their husband was the breadwinner or the sole provider?
I feel like this is a 30-minute topic. Like I think we're running out of time, but let me get into it shortly.
Yeah.
I'm going to pose a question, but I'm going to go into it and then pose a question, right?
Okay.
So I'm saying, what did you do for the actual business versus what did you do for the actual person? And if you're doing for the actual person, ain't that really kind of being in the business? Like you're in the business of tending to this person who's in business. But then we got to say the masseuse got to get paid too. And the maid got to get paid too. And
they do get paid. No, they already said what their salary and what their asking price is, and they pay them consistently.
But they ain't got $100 million.
They didn't have a 24-hour job. They clocked in and they clocked out and went home and was able to get other clients.
Listen, nobody has a 24-hour job. First of all, people got to sleep 8 hours. That's at least now knock it down to 16. That's like 2/4 of the day, right? So, I mean 2/3. Don't get me fucked up with my math. So, I'm just saying, if you're not a part of the actual business, should the person who's a part of the actual business still get the same amount as the person? Is it all the same? Is it like I'm a wife, so I'm a wife? Or is it like, yo, I actually am a part of running the operation, so I deserve more than the person that's just doing domestic shit for a millionaire?
Right. Well, I'm gonna answer your question. And first, let me say this as a pre-note, right?
We both doing it.
As a pre-note, I believe that it is unfair the way they set up alimony, where they like, the judge will be like, well, you know, this person had a particular lifestyle.
This is clearly a topic that we'll cover on episode 26. We was running over, so I know it's so many intricacies and moving parts in this topic that I just want to make sure we fully flesh out the idea and the concept of it. So if you could hear her from the other room, I'm the guy 𝗖𝗢𝗨𝗣𝗟𝗘𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
African John.
And who else? African what?
African John.
Yeah, that's all you want to say. You got seen at all.
Got seen.
All right, and I'm the guy 𝗖𝗢𝗨𝗣𝗟𝗘𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, and this was episode 25. Yeah, we see y'all. We see y'all on 26, man. We love each and every one of y'all, and we holla.
I'm good just waking up. That's how I know I got one more chance to go and cash in and cake it up. Money trees, they throwing shade, just come and break it up. Playing all day, the motherfucker, we make it up. Feel good, don't it? Haha, feel good, don't it? Yeah, rent paid and a light.